Part 3 of Section 1.8 is on simplifying expressions containing parentheses. Now this is very similar to what we were just doing in Section 1.7 with the distributive property. Okay, so this says when simplifying expressions containing parentheses, we use the distributive property first to remove the parentheses and then again to combine like terms. So here are some examples. It says find each product by using the distributive property to remove parentheses. So number 1 says 3 times y plus 6. So when I see that I have a term in front of the parentheses, I'm going to distribute that times each term in the parentheses. 3 times y would be 3y. 3 times positive 6 would be positive 18. And then I cannot simplify any further because these are not like terms. That's my final answer. Okay, number 2, negative 2 times x plus 11. We're distributing a negative, so negative 2 times x would make that be negative 2x. Negative 2 times a positive 11. You've got to be really careful with your signs. A negative times a positive would be a negative 22. And so my answer would be negative 2x minus 22. Number 3, we've talked about this before. If we have only a negative in front of the parentheses, this is the same thing as having an understood negative 1. If I distribute a negative 1 times each term, it's going to change the sign of every term. So I would have a negative 3x, a negative 2y, a negative z, and a positive 1. All of those signs are changed. Now, can I combine any of these? No. Okay, none of these have like terms, so this would be my final answer. Okay, and then on your handout, the helpful hint, again, is just a reminder about this negative sign that's in front of your parentheses. I can't tell you, how many times this is probably going to come up, especially in Chapter 2 when we're solving equations. Okay, so this is just a reminder for how you can distribute that negative. I want to work out the examples at the bottom of the page with you, just so you'll have a few. I always like to have at least one of each kind that I think you're going to see on the homework. Okay, so I'm not trying just to make the videos long just for the fun of it, but actually trying to give you the examples that you're going to need. Okay, on part A, 4 times x minus 6 plus 20. Remember, we only distribute the number 4 times what's in the parentheses. So 4 times x would be 4x. 4 times negative 6 would be negative 24, and I bring down plus 20. Okay, then I have to ask myself and say, do I have some like terms that I can put together? Okay, well, we only have one variable term, the 4x, but a negative 24 and a positive 20 is going to combine to be a negative 4. Subtract, take the sign of the higher number. So my answer would be 4x minus 4. Okay, on B, 5 minus, in parentheses, 3x plus 9. Okay, here's that negative you have to distribute again. So I would have, bring the 5 over. You're not distributing the 5. Okay, remember this is just like having this negative 1 in front of the parentheses. So that's going to change it to a negative 3x and then also a negative 9. What can I combine? What can I put together? We only have one variable term, that's the negative 3x, but I have two numbers, positive 5, negative 9. Signs are different, subtract, take the sign of the higher number. So my answer would be negative 3x minus 4. Okay, C is a little bit longer. We're going to have to distribute twice. Negative 3x times 7x plus 1 minus 4x minus 2. So when I distribute negative 3 times each term in the parentheses here, that would give me negative 21x minus 3. And then remember what this negative is going to do. Change the sign of these two. So I would have a negative 4x and a positive 2. So then I ask myself, do I have any like terms that I can put together? So I look at my variable terms first. They're both negative. That means I'm going to be adding. Negative 21 and negative 4x would be a negative 25x. Then I'll look at my numbers, negative 3 and a positive 2. Since the signs are different, this means I'm subtracting, taking the sign of the higher number. So negative 25x minus 1 would be my final answer. Okay, and then part D, we have 8 plus 11 times 2 minus y. Okay, I know again, I've told y'all before, your brain sees 8 plus 11 and you want to add those together. But you have to kind of combine this with order of operations. Okay, we have to clear parentheses first, so this means the 8 is going to come down. Distribute the 11. So 11 times 2y would be a positive 22y. And 11 times negative 9 would be negative 99. Then I can put together whatever terms I have that are alike now that my parentheses are gone. So I always like to bring the variable term first, 22y. I have a positive 8 and a negative 99. So that means I'm going to be subtracting. Take the sign of the higher number, which would be negative 91. So my answer would be 22y minus 91. So this is part 3 of section 1.8, using the distributive property to simplify expressions and to clear parentheses from your problem.